and also a vegetation area. We have planted, we have raised 7 species of butterflies, including the deadleaf butterflies, the citrus swallowtails, the papillopilotes. These are quite rare categories, so we are keen to preserve the butterflies. So what is this? This is called the blue tiger, because it has a certain kind of blue wings, blue dots on their wings. So where do they live? They live mainly in the subtropical area along the Yangtze River in the north, not in the north Jiangsu province, but south of the Yangtze River. We're in the winter. It's quite rare to see butterflies in this season outdoors. Yes, you're right. Butterflies choose to stay in a warm climate, so they migrate from place to place, especially to the south of China, where the temperature is warm and high. So in the winter, they fly across China. I can see this is quite a peculiar type. I'm not sure if you have noticed that this is actually a butterfly that looks like the shape of a leaf. It's called a dead leaf butterfly. It's not common in Jiangsu province. It's introduced from the southwest China. So it's used mainly for science education because it takes the shape of a dead leaf to avoid the attack of its enemies and also the parasites and harm from other insects. It has a very dark color, which means it uses a lot of energies. It seems they are feeding themselves. Yes, they are feeding the nutritious liquids, including the vitamins, the sugars. So what are the food for the butterflies in the natural environment? Their food is mainly the honey, because honey includes a lot of nutritious products, enough for them to survive. This is called the golden butterfly. This is also a rare species, especially in the Jiangsu province. It's quite magical because it also looks like a leaf. So what is this? It's also another kind of dotted butterfly because in the sunshine, its wings will have a purple and blue color. But now it's static because it's having a rest. Because the temperature is quite low. If the temperature is higher, they can fly. So it's whether it chooses to fly or not depends on the temperature, right? Yes. And its flying speed, it can be as high as 40 kilometers per hour, even higher than the vehicles. So how big is the area that a butterfly flies around? Well, they choose to stay in a certain area instead of flying to other areas. Well, it depends on the category of the butterflies. For example, the golden ones, its living area is around 200 kilometers. But for other species, can be as high as 400 kilometers or 1,000 kilometers. For this kind of butterflies, it has rather shorter distance. and they have different requirements for the living space. Well, this is another kind of butterfly which has very small body shape and it cannot grow larger. It is one of the most common species in Jiangsu province. Just now we saw a tiny butterfly, very small, even invisible for the camera to shot. Can you see something about this area? This is the food area for the baby butterflies. Because the butterflies have 4 stages to grow up. First is the egg. The egg usually will lay in the back of the leaf to avoid attack of enemies and the rainfalls and unfavorable natural environment. I can see there is an egg of the golden butterfly. This is the baby worm of the golden butterfly. They're very timid and friendly. They will not bite people. And you can put this larva on your hand. You can see the color on its body, white, black, and yellow. So these 3 colors prevent itself from being attacked by its natural enemies. And when the enemy approaches it, it can release a certain kind of odor to prevent attack from birds and other insects. So how long will the larva stay on the leaf? For 1 month. So after 1 month, the larva will grow bigger into pupa. Well, this is one of the most favorite plant food among the butterflies. And these, you can see this is a golden butterfly. And Kangxi is another favorite plant among the butterflies. I'm not sure if the online viewers have caught what we have said, because I was told by Dr. Liao that the larvae feed on the leaves. When they grow into pupa, they eat pollen. Honey. So during different stages of their life, they feed on different kinds of food. So you mentioned the 2 kinds of food. This plant is called Kangxi. It's very popular among the deadleaf butterflies. So will different butterflies feed different food? Yes. They eat the butterflies is so special because they eat only the food of a same family or same genera. So it is only one family or one genera of food they eat. So this plant is very famous among the butterflies, right? Yes. We have raised 7 categories of butterflies in this greenhouse, and one plant is very famous with broad leaves. It's called the tea tree. It's especially popular among a kind of swallowtails. The silk swallowtails. And this plant, when it dies this year, next year it will grow up again. So, and the white part and also the black seeds you can see is the seeds of this plant. We have found a pupa of the golden butterfly. How long will the pupa stay until it grows larger? It will need half a month. If the temperature is high enough, only 8 days will suffice. But in the winter season, it needs at least 15 days to grow mature. I can see the green pupa does not have a regular shape. Yes, it's not regular. It's like a decoration hanging on the plant. And this kind of shape actually pretends to deter the natural enemies and protect themselves from the attack. And also, if you see clear enough, it looks like the eyes that can zoom in and can deter the natural enemies. So you said the butterflies have different stages of life, 4 stages. The first stage is larva. Second is the baby worm, and third is the pupa, and the final stage is the maturity, when it finally grows into a butterfly. So how long does it take to finish the 4 stages? Usually it takes 1 month for the baby worms to grow into a butterfly, for the egg, and also 8 days for the egg to grow up, and 11 days for the pupa. So altogether, it needs 4 or 5 months for a butterfly to grow up. And different categories of butterflies need different days of different periods. For example, this kind of butterfly needs 15 or 60 days, depending on the change of the natural environment. And depending on the natural environment, their life can be different. And another kind of category, a butterfly needs 3 months. Well, it's a short life for human, but long enough for insects. For some insects, their lifespan is only 1 week. So compared with other insects, the butterfly has a rather long life. I can see lots of white rocks in the water area. We are simulating the water resources for the butterflies. Because this is a greenhouse, we didn't put any water here because it can easily arouse the mosquitoes, so it will be unfavorable to the butterflies. But in a real natural environment, butterflies choose to habitat along the river, along the water. So where there is water, you will find butterflies. Can you say something about this area? This is the breeding area for butterflies. We have, I will show you the larvas. These are the larvae of butterflies. And actually, they have turned into pupas. And you can see this dark color one. It actually is waiting for its skin to fall off. It has stopped eating food. It's quite magical. These pupas taken different shapes, irregular shapes, and taken on a crystalline color. It's like the beads of the necklaces for ladies. Yes, that's why I said these pupas have a decoration effect and also look like the fruit with a crystalline effect that can reflect the light. So if the light is reflected with this sparkling skin, then the natural enemies will be threatened or intimidated. So they protect themselves from being attacked by the natural enemies. And this is and they have taken the color of similar to their natural environment. I have touched a pupa. I can feel it's very hard. So when it grows mature, it will become naturally into a butterfly? Yes, when it has stayed long enough, it will grow from a baby into a adult butterfly. In 7 or 8 days, they will grow full wings. And their chest or shoulder will grow mature, and the blood pressure will keep the body swollen, and they will squeeze out from the pupa and turn into a real butterfly. This one is still a baby. It hasn't turned into a pupa. I believe tomorrow it will turn into a pupa. Yes, the color is different for a pupa and a baby. It takes the color of a jade. Yes, that's the magic part about butterflies. So these are the food for the pupa? Yes. I wonder how the pupa are sticky to the ceiling of this basket. Well, for the reason I'm not sure, but I will try to explain myself from my observation. I believe the pupa need some space for themselves to spray out their wings, so they need to climb high to the ceiling of the basket so that it's easier for them to become a butterfly. Just now I wondered why the butterflies' pupa are hanged to the ceiling of the basket. And Dr. Liao said it's easier for them to fly out once they become butterflies. Now you can see all these pupa are hanging to the upper part, the ceiling of the basket. They can attach themselves to the ceiling. You know, the black part is the larva, and the green ones are the pupa, and hard pupa with irregular shapes. It's different from moth, because moth has harder skin. But the pupa has a softer skin. These are still the pupas. Different butterflies have a different shapes of pupa. Isn't this the dead leaf butterfly? No, it's not. It's the silk swallowtail. This is the artificial breeding area for butterflies. And this is the aromatic vegetation area. Why is the aromatic area? Because aromatic plants keep you awake, especially in the greenhouse where the CO2 concentration is very high. You may feel dizzy in such an environment. So to keep you awake and to keep you in a good mood, we have preserved this aromatic plant area. Butterflies have the highest requirement for the natural environment. In 2016, the butterflies and also the glowworms are listed into the 2 insects that have the highest requirements for the natural environment. So where you find butterflies, you can see the natural environment has the best quality. This is the aromatic plant area to purify the air and keep you awake. I can feel the aroma of the plants, and those is rosemary. These plants help the air get purified. So the butterflies cost a lot to be raised. I have seen a picture of a famous butterfly. It's called the Chinese tiger butterfly because this wing has the pattern of the Chinese tigers. This butterfly is peculiar to Jiangsu province, especially in the Zijingshan area. It's the second category animal that are protected in China. It feeds on a specific plant. Why is it so rare? Because the plant they feed on grows very slowly. And this kind of butterfly are so beautiful that many people try to capture them illegally. From 1989 to 2019, as the city urbanization process goes on, this kind of butterfly finds less food for them to feed on. So there is a smaller number of butterflies now. The plant they feed on has become very rare, so naturally there has been a fewer number of butterflies. There are many insects that are listed as the protected animals. There are quite a number of them, but for butterflies it is very rare. The golden butterfly that are found in Hainan province and in the wild natural environment, we have seen seven such butterflies, 7 female butterflies. Why is that? Because the male ones fly much faster than female ones. So when the female ones choose to stay on the grass, then we can see the female ones. And this kind of butterfly is Category 1 protected animal in China. It lives mainly in the South China. This is an area that simulates the plant gardens of the countryside. And we are seeing the purple crow butterflies. And we are raising tomatoes that are in blossom. And the butterfly will stay here as a pollinator. So the butterfly is an important pollinator for tomatoes that perform the same function like the bees. Like the carrots, the cabbages, all rely on the butterflies as the pollinator. Because bees pollinate for the trees, but butterflies pollinate for the herbs. The butterflies like sunshine, so they choose to stay on top. You mentioned butterflies like warm temperatures. The best temperature is 25 to 27 degrees Celsius. This is the most favorable temperature for butterflies. So in the natural environment, if you find butterflies, then it must be spring or summer. Especially in spring when there are lots of blossom, the butterflies will have abundant food to pollinate and to feed themselves. And in the spring, the blossoms will suffice as the food. Now, this is a science education area with lots of pictures for demonstration. Well, this one represents the eye of a butterfly. It's like a hemisphere. Why is this shape? Because this hemisphere-shaped eye will have a wide angle of sight for the butterflies. And this picture, we zoomed in their eyes and we can see lots of structures, lots of hexagon structures. We calculated there are around 12,000 such hexagons. Each hexagon is like one eye for human. So it means the butterflies have much wider sight scope than human. Their eyes can see as much as a 6.2 degree compared with human. It's much more clear. The hemisphere shape of the butterfly's eyes is like the flies, right? Yes, they are quite similar, but the butterfly's eyes can see much more clear, can see clearer than the flies. And they can see 2 different kinds of colors that humans cannot see. We don't know which 2 colors are yet, but we know for sure that they can see two different kinds of colors. And the wings of the butterflies have different shapes and colors, right? Yeah, the color can be divided into a pixel color and a structure color. It's like a painting. You paint for the shape and also the structure to reflect the light. This is the magical function of the butterfly's wings. So butterflies like sunshine because in sunshine they can reduce the consumption of energy caused by flight. They can absorb the power and heat through their wings. This is through scientific research. We found this theory that as the wings grow more and lighter, the more energy it absorbs. And the power will be concentrated in the wings and transmitted to a certain point of the wings and turned into the bioenergy that the butterflies need during the flight. So why can the butterflies' wings absorb the energy? So we decided to have a look. We zoomed in the butterfly's wings. On top, and below is the wings of the moth. You can see the moth. The wing of the moth has a longer parts, but for the butterflies, their wings have a more stubborn, a more stronger structure than keep themselves from the rainfalls, from the natural power. We zoomed in the wings. This is zooming in by 1,000 times. To see whether they can really absorb the sunshine. So you can see their flakes are quite strong. And we had a simulation. If we put sunshine into their wings from any angle, the sunshine will not run out. It will be kept in the wings. It's similar to the solar panel that kept the power and energy within instead of running out, and also to keep the temperature steady. And the wings can keep themselves warm and stable. Dr. Liao told me something magical about the wings of the butterfly, and I was reminded of the butterfly effect. And actually, through the research into the eyes of the butterflies, it has been applied in many ways. For example, the camera of the Huawei cell phone is enlightened, and application of bionics of the butterflies. And now the camera has become much clearer with a much higher resolution. So during our next step research, we will try to research on the wings of the butterfly and promote the application of their materials as a bionics material. And this is a plant area where we simulated the rainfalls, the plants. and also the sunshine. One thing funny about the butterfly is how they date, how they seek their partners. So we simulated this area, this functional area for the butterflies to mate. They have two strategies of dating. First, they choose an open space with a lot of sunshine, and to avoid the high temperature. But these spaces are very difficult to find. So they compete for such areas. When we were in the field trips, we usually see the butterflies chasing each other. Some people may question whether the butterflies are homosexual. Not at all. These are butterflies competing with each other for a certain space, for them to spread out their wings to absorb the sunshine and energy from the sunshine. So they will try to compete each other, and when they find a partner, they will fly together, and they will enter the honeymoon period. And also they need a period to cope with each other, to get used to each other. If they succeed, then they will give birth to the next generation. If not, they will try to find new partners. So butterflies choose to fly in the area with lots of sunshine to reduce the consumption of energies caused by flight and to contain the energies and to make themselves comfortable. So the male butterflies will intercept the female butterflies when they want to fall in love with the female ones. Another strategy is the parole strategy. This butterfly has the pattern of a tiger. It's quite rare in Jiangsu province. It's introduced from the valley area in the subtropical area. So it's a new variety. It's similar to a US species, but they are not of the same family. They are highly capable in flying, especially in spring. They can fly from Southeast Asia to Yunnan province, Guangxi, and Guangdong in China, and in summer and autumn, they will fly to Sichuan province. And in winter, they will fly from Sichuan back to Yunnan to Southeast Asia. So in a year round, they have a long flight, right? Yes. How many butterflies are there in the world? There are 20,000 species around the world, but in Jiangsu, only 220. In Yunnan province, 1,300 species. Now for Jiangsu, 130 species to be accurate. Apart from the bionics application, what are other functions of the scientific research on other butterflies? As you know, butterflies are very picky about their natural environment, especially the quality of water, soil, the forests, the trees, the air. So where there are butterflies, the environment are usually very favorable to the butterflies. When we do scientific research, we can tell the quality of the natural environment depending on the number of butterflies in the area, and we report these results back to the authorities. So the butterflies is a testament of the natural environment quality, right? And the butterflies are very good pollinator. If there are no bees, then 50% of the plants will disappear in the world. But if there are no butterflies, then 70% of the natural plants will disappear, and the humanity will survive for only 7 days. I mean, by only drinking water, but without food, humans can only survive within 7 days. So butterflies are highly relevant to the survival of humanity. It is an important part of the ecosystem. I think people may have ignored this effect of the butterfly on the importance of the butterflies to our environment. Apart from ecological part, butterflies have other functions in terms of the scientific research. So I kindly remind the visitors not to capture the butterflies during their field trips. Rather, we should protect them. Just now, Dr. Liao gave us lots of knowledge about butterflies, which have deepened on our understanding about butterflies, especially on how important butterflies are to our natural environment. So I hope through today's live stream, our online viewers can have a deeper knowledge about butterflies and have a higher awareness on the protection of our globe. So each of us should do our bit to contribute to a more beautiful natural environment and globe. So that is so much about today's live stream. Thank you very much. See you next time.